Ah, my friends, gather close, for tonight I have a tale to tell. A tale of fate, of missed chances, and of love that arrives when you least expect it. Now listen closely, because this is the kind of story that makes you wonder, makes you think about all the little twists and turns that life throws your way. And let me tell you, it all starts with a man named Daniel Harper and the flight he never took. Picture this: a crisp autumn morning in New York City. The airport is buzzing with travelers, businessmen glued to their laptops, families juggling luggage and toddlers, tourists snapping last-minute photos. And there, weaving through the chaos, is Daniel, dressed in a sharp suit, suitcase rolling behind him, eyes fixed on the departure screens. He has somewhere important to be, a meeting in London that could change the course of his career. But fate? Fate had other plans. Just as he reaches the check-in counter, he sees it, bold, glaring, and utterly final. Flight 204 to London, departed. Now, Daniel Harper is not a man who misses flights. He's the kind of guy who arrives early, double-checks his itinerary, plans for every possibility. But that day, life threw him a curveball. Frustrated, he rushes to the airline desk, hoping, pleading, bargaining. But there's no way around it. The next flight isn't until the morning. And so, with no other choice, he drags himself to a small cafe inside the airport, sighing as he sinks into a chair. And that's when it happens. That's when he sees her. She's sitting by the window, lost in a book, auburn hair catching the golden glow of the late afternoon sun. And let me tell you, there was something about her, something different. Maybe it was the way she absent-mindedly twirled a strand of hair around her finger. Or maybe it was the way she looked so lost in her own world. But here's the thing about fate. It doesn't nudge, it shoves. Because just as Daniel is about to turn away, she looks up. Their eyes meet. And in that single electrified moment, everything shifts. Now, Daniel isn't the type to walk up to strangers. But that day, something in him, call it destiny, call it madness, makes a move. Before he can second-guess himself, he's standing by her table. "Mind if I join you?" he asks, voice steady despite the storm in his chest. She glances at the empty chairs around them, smirks, and says, "Seems like fate left you no choice." Her name? Sophie. And just like him, she's missed her flight to Paris, where she was supposed to visit her grandmother. And so, with nothing but time to kill, they talk. Oh, my friends, they talk about everything: travel, dreams, regrets, the things they've never told another soul. And with every word, every laugh, Daniel feels something stirring in him, something he hasn't felt in years. As the evening wears on, the airport starts to feel less like a place of frustration and more like a beginning. Then, just when Daniel thinks the night can't get any more surreal, Sophie leans in, a mischievous glint in her eye. "Tell me, Daniel Harper, have you ever done something completely spontaneous?" He frowns. "I missed my flight and followed a stranger into a conversation. That count?" She grins. "Not even close. Come on, let's get out of here." Now, my friends, let me tell you, Daniel Harper was not the type to just leave an airport with a stranger. But that night, something in him said, why not? And before he knows it, he's stepping into the cool New York air, following Sophie into the unknown. They end up at a tiny jazz bar tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. The place is alive with music, laughter, the clinking of glasses. And there, under dim golden lights, Daniel watches as Sophie twirls, carefree, lost in the rhythm. And for the first time in a long time, he feels free. Time slips away. Before he knows it, it's nearly dawn. The world is waking up, and reality is creeping back in. They walk back to the airport, silence stretching between them. Not awkward, but heavy with unspoken words. And then, at the departure gate, Daniel does something he never thought he'd do. "Sophie," he says, heart hammering, "this may sound crazy, but what if I don't get on that flight?" She laughs, but there's a flicker of hope in her eyes. "Daniel Harper, are you suggesting that we rewrite fate?" He exhales, knowing his answer. Maybe fate just needed a little push. And just like that, as Flight 205 to London boards, Daniel makes his choice. He stays. He chooses love adventure, and the unknown over a perfectly planned future. But my friends, you think that's the end? Oh no, no, no. The best stories never end so soon. The morning air is crisp as Daniel and Sophie step into the city once more. No flights, no schedules, just the endless possibilities of a day unplanned. Coffee? Sophie asks, nodding toward a tiny cafe on the corner. And over coffee, they talk more. Sophie is an artist, a wanderer, someone who's never liked being tied down. Daniel has spent his life chasing structure. And yet, here they are, two opposites colliding in the most unexpected way. Ever done something completely wild? She teases. He smirks. I think I'm in the middle of it. They explore the city, wandering through bookstores, sharing secrets, watching the sun rise from the top of the Empire State Building. And just when Daniel thinks the night can't get any crazier, Sophie turns to him and says, "Come to Paris with me." Daniel blinks. "Paris? Why not?" She laughs. "You've already broken your schedule. Might as well go all in." And for the first time in his life, Daniel doesn't think. He feels. He takes her hand, grins, and says, "All right, let's go." And that, my friends, is how a missed flight became the greatest journey of his life. So the next time life throws you an unexpected detour, maybe, just maybe, you're exactly where you're meant to be.